look at the numbers that I presented today, you will see that the Polish market, distribution market, has had an incredible period of growth. So compared to 2017, the size of the market is more than 50% greater than what it was back in 2017. And the big spur to growth was the COVID crisis. The rest of Europe grew, but Poland grew hugely in that period. And I think that a lot of it was to do with catch-up. There was a lot of a sense in Poland that you couldn't ignore the digital, which maybe until then people had not prioritized. So I think that for distributors, for the IT industry, this has been a really, really positive period. So for 2025, we see growth coming back. And you have to be humble when you're forecasting, because you really don't know how things are going to go. And we underestimated Polish growth throughout the COVID period. After 28% of growth in 2020, we never believed there could be 14% of growth the following year and 9% of growth the year after that. So what we're looking at now, we're looking at modest growth in 2025. In the early half of the year, so the first half of the year, we're looking at between 3 to 5% growth in the Polish market. Now, that is a very traditional level of growth in IT industry. If you look at other countries, that sort of level of growth. I think there are some jokers, and the jokers are really, I would say, twofold. One is the take-up of Windows 11, and we know that is going to have a big impact. There will then be a refresh cycle that will follow the Windows 11, because then people will spend more money on displays. And the second area is software and enterprise, because what we have seen since 2022, we have seen a real decline in confidence. Business confidence has gone down. Although having said that, Poland is one of the countries which is doing better when you compare it to the rest of Europe in terms of confidence indices, certainly on the consumer and the business side. So what we've seen is, overall, we've seen a decline in confidence. And decline in confidence means investments being postponed. I think that when we get out of that cycle, with the new technology coming through, we're seeing it coming through in, for example, the AI servers. AI servers are representing nearly 13 or 14% of server revenues. This is huge. When we have done our forecast on the enterprise market has been saved in the last 9 months by AI servers. Because we've suddenly seen this new generation of servers coming in, very high value, and really compensating for the long-term decline in server revenues, which has been there as people have migrated to the cloud, etc. Overall, I feel very positive about the outlook for Poland, and I think that there is going to be people investing in it. There's a lot of government money coming through. The Polish are in good relation with the EU. It's one of the key countries that the EU funds are coming to. So all of that is really, really positive. It was noticeable that in 2 areas, the Polish resellers in our Channel Watch survey we've just conducted under-indexed against their European colleagues. Cloud provision of services, they are under-indexed, and also networking. Now, networking has been through a real helter-skelter cycle of huge growth in 23 and 22, and then big reductions in 24. So maybe some of the resellers are feeling a little bit nervous about going into that area. But cloud, I think that was disappointing. I would expect more resellers to be investing in cloud projects. On the other hand, they over-indexed on AI. It was only 1%, but it's kind of interesting to think that, 320 resellers who responded to our survey, more of them are going to go into AI. So, and also that has increased from 15% last year, which is, that's good news. I was also struck by some of the software numbers because whilst the Polish performance has been very strong in networking software and virtualization software, it's been lower in the other areas, the data management. And so I kind of pointed that out to people in the data. A little bit of a provocation there to say to people, why is that? Why are you not investing as much in there? Why is it not growing as much in Poland as in the other countries? Hannah, who is the CEO of Also in Poland, she said to me, you know, the resellers don't get to see this type of data, so it's going to be really nice for them to see this data. We provide the data through to all of our distributor partners. So that's a very good place for them to talk to the distributors to ask what the trends are like. There's absolutely no problem for the distributor to give a little bit of an overview of what those trends are. We provide data on a weekly basis to the industry. And in fact, what happened was that in COVID, in March 2020, on the 25th of March 2020, I remember it very well, we decided in the middle of the beginning of the crisis of the lockdown, you know what, we're going to do something for the industry. So we started a weekly webinar, and it's half an hour long. And that weekly webinar talks about what is going on in the market. We have about 1,500 people subscribed to our weekly webinar. And we do it 30 minutes, and about once a quarter we present Poland. So if there's anyone who wants to join our weekly webinar, they could do that as well.